Okay, we'll go ahead and create the artboard for our 2-point perspective design. 1920 pixels by 1080. So you have a nice big artboard to work with. We want to start out by separating the ground from the sky. In this case, our ground is probably going to be cement or asphalt. So we'll get 2 rectangles down to have one for the ground or the asphalt and one for the sky. Now I want to increase the level of realism for this particular project. So I'm going to select linear gradient so it'll create that sky gradient where it goes from light to dark. Then I just need to adjust the position of it so it's lighter along the horizon line and then darker as it goes up. Next, let's put in the 2 points, one on each side, for our 2-point perspective drawing. Now let's begin creating the buildings. We'll start with the left side and we'll create that shape from point to point. Remember, you want to make sure that you're using Shift when you want to create that straight line. Hold down Shift and you'll get a straight line every time. I'm going to adjust the color of the right side of the building. Just make it a little bit darker, just to add to that three-dimensional effect. Now let's use the pen tool to separate the buildings. You can make each building a different color if you'd like. Remember to hold down Shift for the straight line. But if you want to keep it all one color, that's fine too. If you want to keep it simple, that'll work. Now let's create the lines that we're going to use that will be deleted eventually, that we're going to use to get the doorway and the windows in proper perspective. So just get them drawn in there. And the nice thing about this compared to if you actually had to draw it out is you don't have to erase anything, you just have to click on it and delete it when we're finished with these lines. Now, I highly recommend giving the layers a name, especially in this case. So if we click on the left side of the building and we name it building left, for example, so we know what it is, and then if you press the lock, we'll be able to lock it down and we'll be able to work right on top of it. We'll do the same thing with the right side, and you'll see why once you start building on top of it with the doorways and the windows. I'm going to use the linear gradient effect again, just to add to the three-dimensional look of it, so we can see where the light is shining on the window. And let's go ahead and designate this particular path as the window, and then we can lock it once again so that we can work on top of it. Okay, I'm going to delete these lines, but don't delete your lines until you've finished with the full left side of the building. I'm just deleting them to show you what it's going to look like when we take those lines away. Now let's start creating the sidewalk. Always work from that point on the left side to create your shape. Then we switch over to the point on the right for everything on the right side of the composition, and we get the other side of the sidewalk. And then we're going to add a little something to each side to once again enhance the three-dimensional look of it. Alright, this is the end of the demonstration. It's going to be your guys' job now to continue to develop this two-point perspective piece. Add additional doorways and windows, and create a really nice and convincing environment.